Very good morning, all of you. Let us now start the session. I hope you are safe and you have enjoyed Diwali vacation safely at home. I am Meet Patel from BTech in Computer Science and Engineering third year. And today we are here for an online session of Introduction to Linux and Shell, which is going to be conducted by Viral Parmar. I am sure most of you know him. He is a final year student pursuing BTech in Computer Science and Engineering at RRU. He is a web developer, CTF player, and a web application pen tester. He has also written some useful InfoSec blogs. He is also a TryHackMe God level player and has solved around 100 rooms. If any one of you has any doubts regarding CTF, TryHackMe, Linux, or development, you can reach out to him anytime. I will share his social handles in the chat section at the end of the session. So today's event is divided into two sections. The first one is the online session, and the other one is a small contest for testing what you learned during this session. I will share the contest link in the chat section at the end of this session. Let me not take more of your time and let's start the session. I am now handing over to Viral Parmar. Over to you, Viral.
Thank you so much. So let's start this session. So this session is going to introduction to Linux and Shell. As we know, Linux is a very broad operating system. We all are using it. We are familiar or not familiar with it. So this is Linux, this little plugin. So what we are going to include in this session. So what is Linux? Why Linux is how developed they are, how vastly, how they cover the whole organization, whole world, structure of the Linux, introduction to Bash script. After that, we are going to cover the power of Bash means shell script. After that, we are showing some commands in the terminal hands-on, and after that I conclude this session by uh, giving some my recommendation why I prefer Linux as my main operating system and why I love the Linux. So first, what is operating system? So we can say that operating system is a system software that manage computer hardware. So we can say that basically operating system is that they are basically manage hardware. They are interacting with software and provide our best services to us. So in the markets, there are mainly three major operating system provided over here. First one is Windows. Around 80% of the market are totally covered by the Windows. Rest of the 10 to 50% market covered by the Mac operating system, and rest of the 5 or 10% market covered by a Linux operating system. So as we know, Windows is a very good and beautiful OS designed by Microsoft. They are built in 1990, early 19, and they are development and focusing on vastly. Currently, latest version of the Windows is Windows 10, and a very stable version of the Windows is Windows 7. So then after is Mac. Mac is a well understood operating system developed by Apple. We all know Apple is a very big company and they're providing very beautiful interface, and Mac is totally designed upon a Unix operating system. And after that, Linux. We all know Linux is a very they're starting develop with very small area, and right now they are covered the whole market. So in this session we are going to discuss about Linux. So first of all, we are discussing something about how Linux is, what Linux is. So in this we are used the Linux. So what is Linux? Linux, we can say, open source Unix like operating system based on Linux kernel. An operating system kernel first released on September 17, 1991 by Linus Torvalds. Linus Torvalds is practically packaged in Linux distribution. So there are various distribution and options available in Linux. For example, Ubuntu, Xubuntu, Mint, Fedora, CentOS, Elementary, Arch, OpenSUSE, and continue. If you want to develop your own OS, then you can. So this is the beautifulness and openness of the Linux. So after that, let's see some advantages of Linux. So Linux is an open source. So this is the biggest advantage, and that's why the Linux is developed that much fastly. So what do you mean by open source? So open source Open source means if you want to contribute yourself in Linux, then you can also contribute it via GitLab, and etc. So you just have to go to that repository, download the repository, make some change, and pull the changes on it. So they review your changes, and if your change is reliable, they release your stable version on their operating system. So Linux is very secure because it's basically mainly managed on package manager. So we can say that if we say them you have to do this much thing, they are only focused on that much thing. They are not do some additional things like you know to looking for this. If they found some vulnerability in it, so they immediately fix it. There is a very vast community management by it. Software update. So software update Linux is very good. If you want to show the Windows operating system update, then they show you have to shut down the some round as free. So that's not like that. Software updates in Ubuntu is come like if you want to weekly update, major update. Right now they are launching live updates. So if you don't want to restart your computer, they just update the package minimal version in your background. So customization. If you want to customize your Windows or Mac OS, then it's not possible. So if you want to customize your Linux, then you can. If you want to apply some things, apply some extensions, apply some, you can say shell script on it. You can apply cron tab jobs, etc. So there is a various test of it. For example, various distribution. If you like Ubuntu, then you have to go for Ubuntu. Then you don't like Ubuntu, then you have another options like Mat. If you don't like Mat, there is a Red Hat, Fedora, etc. Another thing is free of use or low cost. What do you mean by free or low cost? Free is for a general purpose. For example, people like us who are studying and using this operating system, they are totally free of us. But when it goes to organization, they cost some of money to them to manage their server or etc. So they are very low cost and free of use. Another thing is that when we talk about a Windows operating system, they have a they developer, they are paying them and take work from it. So what happened in open community support, there are so many people are connected together and they are developing and solving problem coming in the operating system like Linux kernel, etc. So that's a very large community support available in Linux. Stability. Linux, we can say Linux released their LTS version. LTS means a long-term support version every 10 years. If you recently Ubuntu Linux released their 20.4 as a LTS. So they are support next 10 year to Ubuntu version 20.4. So this is a large stability of the Linux. So another thing is privacy. Linux privacy is we can say they are not keeping the eye on you. They are not gather gather your data. They are just gather the thing this how system is crashed. They are just gather that much thing. Another thing is performance. So if you have a very small amount of RAM and a small amount of processor, then it's very good to go with the Linux. Linux can easily support and give you very good performance. It. Another thing is flexibility. Linux is very flexible. You can manage by your own self. You can change in the source code, change in as you want to wish. You can change it itself. Compatibility. Linux is very compatible. If you want to build your own tool, then you can also build and go with your own scripting language and etc. Another thing is fast and easy installation. Everything is look as a package, so you can just put the file in the right directory and here we go. That's it. Another thing in multitasking, you can do so many things in just one PC. Rich environment, you just have to GNOME. There is a environment like a GNOME, Unity, KDE, etc. So it's a very we can say very user friendly to do a work on it. Can revive older computer. So older other computer is can be also be revived. So we can say okay, Unix is a very old command line interface language. So Linux after that come with the very new advantages, new desktop environment, etc. Perfect for geek and engineer. This is the main point which I have to include, because if you write in Google which operating system is good for engineers, so Google will definitely answer you. You have to start with Ubuntu Linux. This is the operating system which is used by mostly engineers. Another thing is software updates and reliability. We can rely on Ubuntu. So here is the meme. How it's gonna feel like when you use the Linux. You have a wallpaper. You can change their source code. You can change their. You can change everything. If you don't like this icon is not, this icon is ugly, then you can remove it and replace it all by own. You can change your boot sector, your boot order. Everything is you can change in Linux. In Windows you can't change anything. There is a registry managed by, you can change, but not that much like that Linux. Mac is no, we cannot change anything in Linux. So this is Windows 10, Mac, and Linux. This is how everyone is gangsta until real gangsta is come. This is just memes. Don't take it serious. So next one is structure of Linux. So in Linux, everything is look as a directory. If everything is a file. If you create one empty directory, then it's also visualized as a file. They only understand as a file. For example, there is a root, and there is a boot, dev, etc., home, lib. So everything is considered as a file in Linux. Then for example, this dev device has a HDA, SDA, SD1. Okay, so let's start with one by one. So what is bin? So bin has a binary file, which is basically say system binary, user binary, which is storing that binary. Boot has a static boot file, which is used and load while the system is boot up. So dev is a not developer file, it's a device file, which is include external device like SD, HTA, ST0, CD-ROM, etc. etc is a configuration file, system wide configuration. We can say it's include the system configuration, user configuration. This all are stored in the etc. It's all are basically written in the plain text languages. Another is home directory. Here you can say different users home. There is a YXZ, Linux, and Tux user. So there are the three user in it. They have own bin and mail, and there is a test file on it, library. So this is a pure object file. This will basically include, we cannot understand what they have to say. They are all just the library, system library. SBin is a system library and a lib is a user library. We can say SBin include the system wide command. For example, IP is a system wide command, and so they are stored in SBin library. And if you look at the user level command, so example ls is a list folder, so they are stored in lib folder. So basically root is all the things are over here. OPT optional file, there is, we can say, we if you want to install another file from external resources. For example, there is a third party who provide a Linux program. So if you want to install it my computer, then I have to install it. For example, XAMPP is a, as we know, XAMPP is a server. So if you want to install it, then we have to install in a OPT folder. Next is proc. Proc is a kernel processing. They are basically include a kernel file which is currently processing on it. Another is MNT, TMP. As we know, MNT is a mount point. We can say if we mount to anything. For example, while we play a CTF, we have to mount some network resources in our system. So where this MNT point come in picture. Another is TMP. So TMP is a temporary file which is used all by all the system are basically generated some stuff which is not used by us but used by programming. So they are basically use it in TMP file. Another thing is user. Here we can see all the user and their library and systems. For example, there is a user. For example, I am a user. Then my another family member is another user. So everything is used as a different. Everyone has a this much stuff in their own. Another is variable where file basically include the variable file, and SRV basically include the services used by the, you can say, computer server, etc. For example, there is FTP and www. So it's a deep explanation of every directory. Bin is a command binaries, boot is a static bootloader file, device file, host specific system configuration. This is basically in a plain text. Home is a user home directory. Lib basically include the shared library to the kernel module. Another point is media, which is a removable media. MNT is a mount point. For example, if you mount a CD-ROM or etc. OPT for optional add-on application, SBIN system binary, SRV services, TMP for temporary files, user for multi-user utility and application, where is the variable file, another one is root, this is the top of the directory root, and proc is a process file, means kernel usable file. Okay, so there is a kernel module, so how it will communicate with the application. So here is the application program, for example, FTP server, DBMS, our Chrome browser is here, our Firefox browser is here, our mail transfer application is here, FTP is here, DBMS is here. So they basically communicate with different type of shell. Shell is a SH means cron shell, bone shell, bash shell, and many more. And they are basically communicate with the different command. And here is the shell, which is manage the all the things they call to kernel, and kernel basically will direct interact with hardware and execute the program and give us an output. This is what a kernel architecture is look like, shell architecture look like. So till we cover operating system, what is operating system, what is Linux operating system, variant of different Linux, structure of the Linux. So till the what is Linux and how the Linux structure is looking like is all clear, I think. So if any have a question till here, so they can ask me. I'm open to you. Okay, so let's forward to desktop environment. What is desktop environment? We can say desktop environment is the implementation of desktop metaphor made a bundle of program running in the top of the computer operating system. This is the official definition, but let's look at the GNOME, KDE, Cinnamon. These all are the desktop environment. Kernel is a different thing. Operating system is a combination of so many things. Desktop environment, kernel, and then so many third-party software. They all are open source. They are come together and build one operating system. So here I have a Ubuntu operating system. I have a GNOME desktop environment over it. So there are different test of desktop environment: GNOME, KDE, Cinnamon, Mat, Unity, XCFE, LTQT, etc. So this is how GNOME is look like. Everyone I think familiar with this screen. This is obviously Kali Linux screen. This is how KDE look like. This is how Cinnamon is look like. This is desktop environment. This is basically we can say how the our OS is look like. It's basically all the goes on desktop environment. Another one is this is Mat. How is look like. This is Unity. Unity is used above Ubuntu 2060 or 2080. Right now Ubuntu uses GNOME. There is LTQT and XCFE. Okay, so here we discuss some fact about the Linux. So Linux, first fact is coming this: Linux is kernel, not an operating system. Linux is a kernel, not an everyone say which operating system I'm using Linux. No, Linux is just a kernel. Operating system which you are using is like Ubuntu, Mat, Parrot, Kali. They all are operating system. Linux is a kernel only. And Unix is an operating system. Unix is a very older operating command line system operating system. When the Linux version 1 was released at March 1994, more than 3 years after Linus' initial announcement, it featured 176,250 lines of code version 2.0. So basically include there are 20 lakhs line, and right now last version last kernel version code include 20 lakhs line. In the first announcement, this 1994 version, they have only 65 KB kernel. Through he wrote 100% of the first Linux in 1%. मतलब कि when they write the first language, they write code 100% itself. But right now what happened, they 1% just write themselves. All the code are coming from other open source communities and etc. So Linux is used by major space program in the world. You can say NASA is used it, ISRO is used it. Another is Linux is totally dominating a supercomputer. As of 2018, every supercomputer is totally run on Linux. So the Linux deployment development community is incredibly active. If you have any question, any error, any, we can say, object or anything you have stuck on Linux, then you just have to put in a community and they are highly active. Any one of them give you 100% accurate answer on it. You have to just follow this and you just solve your answer. So next is a Linux run everything. You can look around yourself, look at your mobile phone, look at your computer, look at your internet satellite tower. You can say internet server. Everything is look at Linux. Once upon a time, Steve Jobs offered Linus Torvalds a job in 2000 in the condition that he stopped development on Linux, and thankfully Linux declined it. And here are the, we can say, best operating system developed by Linux. Over 95% of the Linux code written in C languages. And biggest success of the Linux operating system is Android. We can say there is a 2 billion active monthly user worldwide in the Linux, which is run on Linux. So each kernel release give a code name. When the new kernel is released, they are give them a code name like there is one children come in our family, we give them name. They also give a name to their kernel. For example, fearless, coyote, shy crocodile, gorilla boom, etc. So this is some fact about Linux, and now we move on to shell. What is shell? We can say simply put, shell is a program that takes command from the keyboard and give them to the operating system to perform to some action on it. In the old days, it was usually to interface available on a Unix-like system such as Linux. So we can say basically shell is a interactive things. They are basically directly interactive with us, and we can provide some command to it, and they are directly interact with kernel and give us some appropriate answer. So this is the first line which we have to write in every shell script which we have written hash not slash bin slash bash or slash bin slash sh has a name. So this command line has a name. This is known as a shebang. So don't know who named this shebang, but this is called shebang as a Google. So this driver from a concentration on the take a sharp hash and bang. So this is called shebang, hash bang, pound bang, hash bling, etc. In computing, shebang is a character sequence consisting the character number sign exclamation mark in the beginning of a script. So why this we include? So this is basically we can include to ask shell. So this script is basically written in this shell. If we write sh over here, so the kernel can understand this script is written in bash shell. If we write k shell, so they can understand I have to compile this script via k shell, etc. So believe me, this shebang run the whole world. Every script, every custom script, every automated script, or every server are run anywhere this script at time. So in Unix, there are measured two types of shell come. One is a bone shell and second one is a C shell. Yeah, this is when we talk about 2019 series. So bone shell, if you are using bone type shell, the default prompt is this one, dollar sign. We can say if you saw a dollar sign, that means you are in a bone shell. In the C shell, when you communicate with a terminal, and if you see percentage character above the terminal, then you can say it's a C shell. There are various another subcategories are come after the development process: bone shell, K shell, cone shell, bone again shell, bash, POSIX shell, SH, C shell, CSH, and 10x top C shell, TCSH. So shell script. What is the shell script? The basic concept of the shell script is to list command which are listed in the order of execution. So shell script what's include? Shell script include the, basically we can say, command, programming languages, programming keywords, etc. etc. So a good shell script will have a comments processed by a pound sign. For example, this one hash describing the steps. So let's do some practical. So here is the very basic script. So let's first run it. This is just a hello world. We can say there is a programming. Here I define the which shell I will be used. I will be used the bash shell. There is a official syntax provided by Ubuntu. So we have used this, and there is the command echo, and just we echo out the hello world. So basically, there is a hello world program. Here is it, hello world. When we write a shell script, we have to give them a permission via chmod. When we give a permission to it, they understand this is a script and give them a executable permission. For example, if I write, here is the permission. So hello and personalized echo have some permission. First one is dedicated to read, write, and execute. First is to user, second one is to administrator. First one is to administrator, second one is user, and third one is to groups. So this is how all looks like. Permissions. This is the user, which we are currently using it. Last time using it. This is the memory occupied by it, and this is the modification done last time in this file. So let's look at the personalized echo. What we can do in personalized echo. So here is the simple ask them. I use the bin cell sh. Then I read the name via command line, and then welcome to the person. So let's run the personalized echo. So let's run it. Personalized echo. So here I write viral, and it's print hello viral. So what they actually do, they just read the file name, command name from input, take input from here, and echo out the input given by me. So here, so with the read command line, we can read the input from user, and we use the dollar sign. Here is it. We use dollar sign to print the statement in terminal. So this is how personalized echo is look like. So let's go to the basic 2. In this we are using the fi. Fi means conditional statement and loop statement. Here is the two statement. So let's look at the c.sh. Look at the stuff what include here. So here basically include the again basically command statement. So this is written here, initializing two variable, a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 10 20. Then echo out the value provided over here, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Check whether they are equal or not. So here we are not using any conditional statement. We are using wildcard, for example, hyphen eq. So this is basically a command line, and here I use not eq. Not equal means this is the conditional. So let's execute it. C. Here is it. A is not equal to B. A is not equal to B. A is the command line. Next one is loops. Let's look at the loops. So what basically they include. So again there is a stuff. A is equal to declare A is a 10. Then here we check. A is do loop until the A is not less than a 10. So again I B equal to A. Again here is a 10. Counter come here. Then again we are compare it. If greater than, then put over here. That's it. Let's execute. And this is what actually output come. This is basic 2. In basic 3, we look at some arithmetic operations. So let's look what this program can include. So basic arithmetic operation in shell. Here we read the input from user, two input from user, perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So let's perform it. Static.sh, enter value is a 10, another value 20, and here we get 20, 10, 30, subtraction, multiplication, and division. This is all what we can. Next one is wildcard. We come into this last. Less than, greater than. There is another program same like we are discussed. We are just comparing over here. Less than, hyphen gt, greater than, hyphen equal to. Let's execute it. Value 10, value 12. So here this basically compare the two values and give a output. 10 is less than 12. So this is what executed right here. Another is nested for loop. In nested for loop, we use a two loop inside it. So here is the we take an index. Index is less than 100. Take a reminder. Give them a percentage. If reminder is a negative, then echo index, and else index plus 1. So basically we are going to print our series over here. So nested looks, here it what it looks like. 1 to 50. So this is it. So I have another thing is cheat sheet. So in this cheat sheet, we can say this cheat sheet includes some command lines which everyone have to familiar with. So there is a file name. This is a root. Everything is in a top level directory. If you are direct open the command line, so they are direct landed at the root. Okay, so dot is a current directory. This double dot is present as a parent directory. If you want to go direct to the home directory, you just write this hyphen. cd used for changing the directory. cddir used for change the directory. If I want to, for example, I want to go to the Android directory, then I just enter the Android and here we are, Android. Another one is ls, list the content of the directory. ls is some another so many wildcard, like L for a long format is this will include the who is owner of the file, where the last file made change, what type of rights user have to read, write, etc. on it. A is for used for the all the files in the sense of hidden file, corrupt file, etc. All the file are showing it. Hyphen are used for recursively and for list in subdirectory in hierarchical. ls hyphen d is the used for don't go for subdirectory. So these all are the wildcard is basically used while we want to find something on it. Another one is man. Man command is a very useful command when you want to know what actually command is doing. For example, I don't know what is this df command is actually doing. So if I want to know what man command is doing, so I just want to write man df and they give me a manual file of that command. So basically this include what df actually do, report file system dispatch usage. So every command has their own main file. If you are stuck at what the command actually are doing, then you have to look at the main command. Another one is touch. By using touch, we just create a file over here. cp used to copy file. Here is the syntax of a standard cp a to b, copy file a to b source. Here is the another copy abc file to the another directory, old new file, recursively copy directory into new. mv is used for two purposes, move file and rename the file. mv has two purposes, to rename the file and move the file to another directory. rm is again used to remove the file from a computer. mv again a remove a file. rm-r. R is for recursively delete all the content in the directory. rm-ia asks you before removing anything of the file. There is a mkdir used to create a directory. rmdir use remove to directory create before. Here is a cat. Cat is widely used to show the content of the file. Less is used to let's look at the example. So is a file Wi-Fi solution txt. So here is the things which have. I'm looking for so many stuff in the file. Okay, there is a log. Get. Okay, this is not information. Okay, let's create some stuff by your own. So we just write new file name called text. So let's see the content of the test. We can say there is so many content in it. So if you want to show the less content from it, we just use get less. We can say there is a test is coming. If I just type enter, it will show me the next content after the first one is blue. So here is the end. Open is used to open associated file program. Linux alternative. Reset is used to configure reset the binary data. Wildcard, there is some wildcard used by Linux. For example, star means everything. If you want to create something all the for let's see example. Okay, so if I write star dot ls dot star, they present me all the things. For example, there is a cheat sheet PDF over here. Here you can see it. Then basic one folder. So here is basic one folder. In basic one folder, there is a hello and personalized echo file. So here is hello and personalized echo file. So this is what actually wildcard is doing. So if we write star txt, so match all the .txt file. If we write a star, match all the string file with a system finding command. Question mark for matching a single character. For example, if we write doc underscore v hyphen .txt, match doc version 1.txt, 2.txt, and va.txt, etc. So this is another wildcard. We can see the example of it. Okay, so let's create a command via file touch. Basically, we create a file which is a create from 1 to 100. So we can see we can just create 100 files in just one command. So this is how wildcard is going to use. You can use A to Z, 1 to 100, 0 to 9. We can also include some arithmetic operation on it. Another one is braces. This is what we are going to use. Let's echo out, for example, C. So they are basically create two words, cat and cut. So what they do, they see. So they first match a string with CAT and another is CUT. So cat and cut. So this is what actually they are doing. Another one is let's put so 1 to 5 and this is what they are actually gonna doing. C1T, C2T, C3T. This is what. So this is a redirection. if we perform some task and for example I want to redirect the nmap result into the file, then we are going to use single hyphen. If you want to append the result, then we are going to double hyphen. For example, we can say ls hyphen s.txt. Let's see s.txt. So this is include the list command in the s.txt file. You can say here is the s.txt. Here is it. Another one is grep. Grep is widely used to find anything from the system. This is all the wildcard which we are use with the grep command. ls grep hello, they just find list and find hello. If there is a hello file in it, they present. For example, I want to looking for the 73 numbers file over here. So I just write ls grep 73. So they told me, yeah, there is a 73 file existing in this directory. They just find it. This is the next one, cat dollar. This is the command which is substituted into it. This is the pipeline. First, this one is executed. Output of this command is given to another, again this command, and again command executed and cat the result. So next one is touch. Touch used to create the file. ls is used to list the file, and again this is the shortcut which we are using command to be a productive in Linux and shell programming. Control D for exit, Control L, etc. Next all one is the kill command and process base all the stuff. I just put it in the resource in the Discord server so you can access it. Okay, so next one is aliases. So what is aliases? We can say there is a system-wide configuration file which includes, let's see the file, nano. Good thing, let's look at the file. Here is it, bashrc. So this file is a system configuration. Here I created some aliases. For example, what is alias? Alias is we can say simple command lines which are stored in locally. For example, here I store a XAMPP command. So whenever I type XAMPP, in background they include the following command line. They just execute sudo /opt lamp start. Let's try it. Then when I execute it, they just ask me for password and start the server. We want to create a aliases, then we just write aliases stop and just write sudo /opt lamp stop. And this is what actually do. They execute this command via this aliases. If I write stop, they use this command in background to stop the server. So this is my custom aliases which I create for my own. Alias is very useful when you have a custom environment and custom desktop setting for you. So another thing is this is beautiful environment. This is a Monjaro Linux provided by GNU. Let's look at that. And again, there is so many people who are just doing one wrong thing. They are just looking for Linux operating system. They download ISO file and install it in VM. So don't do that. There is so many own we can say custom version. For example, if I want to download Kali Linux, then you have to go to the download page, and you can see there is a VM page, VM download page over here. So you can directly download from OVF file from over here, and you just install it via one click. So this is a Mat. This is how it looks like, Mat and Mint, Linux Mint download page. There are so many edition of it. XCFE, Cinnamon, Mat. This is a different desktop environment. You have to use it. Another one is Canonical. Canonical is a very big organization. Ubuntu itself fall under this organization, Canonical. So they are basically doing Ubuntu security, Ubuntu landscape, Juju, LXD, MAS. So what is they all are? They are, we can say, the standard secure enterprise Linux for server and desktop. So basically, they are providing security and all the stuff to the organization, biggest organization. Here is the Ubuntu official website. So if you go to the download page, here we can see services provided by it is Ubuntu desktop, Ubuntu server, Ubuntu for IoT, Ubuntu for cloud, Ubuntu for artificial intelligence, etc. There is a Qualcomm Dragon 40C, all the things. There is a Ubuntu community. There is so many Ubuntu community, for example, Ubuntu Form, Ubuntu Community Hub, Ask Ubuntu, Ubuntu Loco, and many more. Stack Exchange. There's so many things which you can say very vast community over here to support the system. Another one is Mat desktop environment. There is a Mat. There is all the release which are provided by the over here. Next one is Fedora. Fedora provide workstation, server, and IoT devices. If you want to install it, visit the Fedora. Open source, widely used for enterprise server. SUSE is very famous in Kubernetes services. So if you look at that, they have found Kubernetes services, etc. So many versions over here. See, there is a CentOS. CentOS is widely used and most lovable operating system in the server. So this is all. Okay. So this is all from my side. If anybody have any question, then I'm open to answer for you. No question?
I have one doubt. Like if you are writing shell script, so I know that the syntax is very strict. Means you have to make sure to give spaces around the square brackets, and in assignment there is no space. Like it will generate an error if we write any wrong syntax. So also please tell them to make sure that you are not making any mistakes while writing the shell script.
Yeah, exactly. We have to look at, for example, if I write shell script and they include the, for example, IP command, they include the curl command, they include the IP config command. So if we write that command in the shell script and we make some intended on it, so basically shell script are not going to generate any error, but that command syntax are generating so many errors. That's why shell script is generating error.
Okay. Any other? Do you have any queries or doubts or questions to ask? Please.
Okay, no problem. If anyone have any query regarding Linux development process and hacking, bug bounty, any kind of thing, so they can ask me any question personally. You can find all the my handle on Discord server. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Viral. That was an amazing session, especially for the beginners who have just started using Linux and writing shell scripts. They must have learned many new things, and I hope they will keep practicing and learn new things and will explore more by themselves after this session of yours. Anyways, if you guys have any queries, you can contact him. I'm sharing his social media handles in the chat section. Please.